Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm excited to finally get to do a review of last iteration of the Phantom versus the new iteration, the 2022 versus the 2024 designs. The cameras are very similar. However, there might be some big differences that might come to play in performance. So I've got my chalk line set up. I've got my 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 footers. We'll do our right to lefters. We'll do our left to righters. But right away, let's get into cosmetics. First, we're going to talk about covers. I really love the new design. This Big X, the Phantom, I wasn't a huge fan of. Just yellow and black. It kind of looked almost like a warning sign. However, take a look at this. I really love this detail. Super cool with the crown inside, the black, super slick. I think a better looking when it's hanging out in the bag. When we look at it from a top-down perspective, you could see just how much smaller that one, the new 2024 Cameron looks. It is just so good. Slightly smaller. I'll throw down a tape measure in just a second, but that footprint is just so much more cleaner. Look at the lines, almost like an arrow pointing right to the hole. From a heel to toe measurement, we can just see it's just over 3.5, almost 3 3/4 inches. And then if we look at the 2024, yep, just a touch smaller. And it's enough to make a big difference visually from the top. And again, one more time, when we look at them side by side, you know, that one on the right, the newer one, is just a touch smaller. Really nice look. Now, when we look at the grip is very different. We look at it, this is a taper grip. It's almost a reverse taper. It gets wide. It's skinny here, gets wider down here. And there is very little extension in the new grip. If you look at the old one, the Pistolero, Pistolini, right? This is the Pistolero. It's a little bigger, the hatchet handle. It is single taper really the whole way. It doesn't taper at all, just one measurement. And then you could see it straight down from here. I didn't love this. Is very 70s. That was okay, but these new clean lines, just a really cool grip. And you can see it's thinner up top, wider down here, which I really like. We'll talk about that as in the performance piece. Okay, so we're gonna start with the 2022 Phantom, and we're gonna use the pills. Again, the pills really show us face rotation and how the club really reacts with the golfer in mind here. So we're going to see if we get anything different. There's definitely a sound. There's definitely a sound feel difference, right? So feel is sound plus vibration. With this deeper milling in the newer version, it's a softer sound, softer feel, less tinny sound. Right, so I can put this online. It looks good, feels okay. Again, short putts won't tell us a ton. We'll move these back to 6 feet, right? So let's go right over to 2024. And if we look at these guys real close, we can see the difference in the deep milling, right? This has got a mid mill, this has got a deep mill over the mid mill, so different sound. And we'll talk about that, right? They sound, feel, performance. Obviously, that's kind of the big talk when Scotty Cameron is putting out the marketing for this. There's definitely a different visual look, much more appealing. I like the dots rather than the line. And it feels softer, slightly different sound. I really like the return. I really love the return to that soft feel. And we'll go one more. And obviously sound and feel are going to come together more as we go to the longer distances. And again, we're using the pills here for a visual for you guys. So instead of me just talking about face rotation and what's happening, you can actually see it. Let's go to the 6-footers. I'll go back, let's go back in time to 2022. All right, we're going to start to probably tell a bigger difference here. Now I will say this, the line in the center is kind of jarring on this. Now you make one putt with a pill, you would have made an actual golf ball. But I will say this, the line on this is so left of center, just a touch, that it can be jarring in that when you're over the ball, I struggle with where the ball is on the face. Try one more. And here we go. Yeah, so again, if we watch with a regular golf ball, those would go straight in the cup. But face angle is doing something different. Now, if I go, that was the feel-wise, let's just talk feel real quick, and then we'll get back to the pills. Yeah, that's a much softer sound. If we go right away, even just with one 2-pill drill, let's see what happens. Right, so the red pill is moving off the toe less, so less open face, different sound. Let's start giving it to some performance as we get further and further back. Back again, there's a visual here of that, like I said, the line of that Phantom 2022, where it feels like it's a little bit off center to the heel side. And I always felt like I struggled a little bit with the face rotation and where the face was. And with the new one, that really changed for me. And let's just see if that kind of appears here. So now on the 2024, right, one more. So that one is coming in face closed and then opening. Let's try one more, just a touch. Right, so already a different result. So now when we go back into the testing, let's just do which line, let's move back to 12 feet, and which is easier to get online. Now a visual system informs the golfer of how they swing, right? Because if you put these on a robot, there may be no difference at all in terms of the way they move, but when you put a human being that's very sensitive to feel looks, right? Vibrations, those things which affect performance. Let's see. Okay, so face is just a touch open there. A little push, face open. All right. So again, the line there at the top, the look, the visual line. Let's see if I could sneak this down here. Right, so we're a little break there actually, huh? Let's move this guy out of the way. A little bit of break. All right, one more. I guess that's the only way I'll make one, if I just knock it in. Yep, little yanks. So we're at 25 plus feet. I'm going to start with, again, 2022. We'll do it in yellow. A little left to right, a little bit downhill. Okay, just a bit firm. Good. Let's go one more. All right. So now we're going 2024. It's the new one, not the old one. We're going 24. Different feel, a little softer. You know, again, there's preference in here, right? Because you can learn to use a putter in so many different ways in terms of distance control, face control, those kinds of things. But we want the least amount of work. Yeah, that's a pretty close grouping. Okay, so I got the left to righters. Now uphill. Let's see, this got a little bit more break. Let's start with the 22. 2022. Off the left. All right. Man, it's just so funny how this line just totally messes with my eye, just in terms of where to hit it on the face. And that's just quieted down so much with this new one. I don't know if it's the dots. I'm sure they're on the same spot on the face relative, but let's just see. All right, so we're really seeing same results here. Obviously hit that one a little harder, but let's test some distance ones now. We're going to look at some putts. Okay, so let's go start this time with the 2024, that new. Up the hill again, left to righters. Those are my arch nemesis with long putts for sure. Okay. Just a touch left, a couple of feet long. That was just a poor putt. All right, one more. Okay. All right, so now, again, different feel in the face, different look for sure. Definitely firmer. The ball feels so much firmer off this face. Okay. One last one. Oh. When I'm looking at these two, again, biggest thing is going to be sizing, footprints, and then top lines with these. I really love the look of the new head, smaller with the line, with the dots instead of the lines. Again, you know, when we go back and look at that face, the top line with the sight line being slightly inside, I just felt like I was flipping the face and trying to hold it off. But the new guy really makes a big difference for me visually. I've been putting great. It's not like I didn't necessarily putt well with this guy. I putted okay. This guy feels a little bit more at ease, the newer one for my eye. Again, this is going to be very golfer specific. And I think that sight line and the feel off the face is just so different. It's a big enough performance difference for me. I was just sitting inside editing the video, and I felt like there were some more questions that needed to be answered. And oddly enough, I was thinking about, you know, the marketing, looks, performance, feel. And I think that's really the subtle difference here between the 22 and 24. Is one worth it versus the other? They're good putters, right? Putters are relative. Do they go in? I think for me, it really came down to the piece of that. I feel more at ease with the newer putter. Again, more maybe that small footprint plus the sight line where it is and the sound. again, I am putting better with this new one. It really got to the point with that old one, with the 2021, right? So you go back and there was that 20, we were on the 2022, COVID happened. So it's a 21, but now we're in the 24. So I kept referring to it as a 22. However, bottom line is I got really frustrated with that, the previous model of the 5.5 because of that line. I felt like I was hooking putts. I had to aim left. And putters, again, are tools that help you. So there's sometimes where our visual field is kind of off, and something about a putter, the way it moves, helps us get that ball back online. So I think really it's just a preference. Better, not better. I don't know, if you save 20, 30, 40 bucks, I still think you got to hit them. And I still think anytime you get equipment, there is a short term of, after you buy it, how it settles in, right? It's like a new car. Like, oh, I just got all these features, but then you realize a couple of months in you don't even use them, or it's more of a hassle than it's worth, or maybe it just doesn't fit kind of where you need to be. So when you get equipment, know that it still takes time to settle in. It might answer a question right then and there for you, but there might be a big difference in the long run. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you guys get some really good information out of this. If you have any other questions, things you want to see, putters you'd like to be compared, let me know. But in the meantime, stay focused and keep practicing. See ya.